Hey guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we are taking a look at the Until Dawn remake. Yes, I went and did it. I paid far too much money for a remake. You're welcome. But Until Dawn, previously reviewed on the channel with Snare. We both very much enjoyed it, and my complaint about it was the frame rate, which, you know, made me sort of think, I'll get it, fuck it, why not? I enjoy the game. And it is a little different. There are a few differences that I noticed, which we'll be going into.
All right.
So, Until Dawn, well, I'll just do a quick bit about it and then I'll go mainly into the differences, because you can always watch the other review of the PS4 version that we did. So, Until Dawn is some friends go to a cabin, and after a prank, two of them tragically die. And a year later, they come back on the anniversary of the accident, and horrific things happen. For the most part, the characters are generally likable. There is a character called Emily, which I know Snare thought was utterly despicable, but seeing as only doing my thinking with my little head, my very little head, I rather liked her. There are a few notable faces in the game. Rami Malek, before he sort of got big with Mr. Robot. The guy that plays Mike is Brett Dalton, I think his name is, and he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And of course you have the cheerleader whose saving would save the world, whose name now escapes me for some reason. Hayden Panettiere, there you go. I got it in the end. Those are the most noticeable names. You have Peter Stormare in there as a sort of interlude psychologist guy. And that's the faces that you'll recognise, I think. The rest of the cast have done other things, but they're not anywhere near as well known as those people. So the remake, it transfers from the Decima engine to the Unreal 5 engine. It does have ray tracing and DLSS and all of the modern goodness that comes with. They have changed the appearance of the game. The hues are less blue and slightly brighter, I think. Performance-wise, it's okay. I started playing it and I was all ready to praise the performance, because I had ray tracing on, DLSS off, and it was going at like between 70 and 100. I was like, this is brilliant, well done, lads. And the next time I booted it, it was stuck at 14. I was like, oh shit. So ray tracing off, DLSS on quality, and this is the results that you're seeing now. But everything else is maxed out. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, it does give a pretty good performance, usually between 60 and 100 frames a second, or just over there. I have noticed that sometimes when you transition to a new scene, you get a lot of stutter at the start of it, and then it sort of evens out after a few seconds. It's not awful. Generally, you don't play anything at the start of a scene anyway, so it's just watching the cutscene. It isn't ideal, obviously, but it doesn't affect playing the game, just watching it. But I mean, that's a negligible difference in games like these. I'm well aware, don't worry. I did notice that some of the lighting has changed quite drastically, and for the better, in my opinion. There are some weirdness going on, like there are some scenes where characters' hair sort of becomes white, where it's like they've been overexposed and the lighting engine hasn't done its job properly. But for the content of the game, it is generally the same. There are a few bits and pieces. So there's a scene which you wouldn't have gotten unless you had pre-ordered Until Dawn the first time around. It was never on sale separately. It was just strictly a pre-order bonus, and it's just a conversation between Emily and Matt. But it does make Emily less of a bitchy character, so that was kind of nice to see, seeing as, you know, little head. They have changed the game a little bit, in that there's a bit more to explore, and they've messed around with the placement of the totems. If you're unfamiliar, you would pick up 5 different types of totems in the original game. Things like guidance, death, and it would give you like little like 3-4 second video shorts that provide you a clue of what you should do, or warning you about impending disaster, stuff like that. They have actually added a 6th type called Hunger in the remake, and what this is, it reveals the fate of a character over the year that you've been away, and what happened to them during that time, and how they ended up where they are. I'm trying to be vague. I don't know if I should be vague, seeing this game's probably, what, 10 years old now, and most of you will know it, but whatever. The controls are different again, because in the original they had a motion control function where you had to stay still, and I found that really hit or miss when I played it. I'm like failing it, and I'm like, I didn't move, what the fuck? Yeah, you sort of had that reaction. Now you can still have that function. I understand if you have compatible hardware, but I play on an Xbox X controller, so, or a Series controller I should probably say, and that doesn't have the motion control, so you basically just, you get a box that comes out of the box and you just move it back into the box with the stick. I actually prefer it because it's less, if I fucked it up, I know I fucked it up, rather than just like the motion control not working properly, so I actually prefer that. You can actually turn it off in the settings and have them auto-complete if you'd like as well, which is a nice option. But I mean, you know, it's an interactive movie sort of game, so I don't know whether you want to be turning stuff like that off and removing even more of the gameplay. I tend to like interactive movies myself, so I don't really have a problem doing it if I wanted to, but I haven't done so in my playthrough. We also have a new ending, a little epilogue ending, which could suggest that perhaps a sequel might be in the offing. It certainly sort of suggests that the curse of the mountain lives on, shall we say. And they have actually allowed you to save a character that was unsavable in the original game, so that's nice. I like that. None of the voice actors returned, so like any additional content that won't be voiced, anything like that, so don't expect too much in the terms of new stuff in it. One of my biggest complaints though is, I remember raving about this in my original review, and that is Oh Death, the song that opens the game and is just pitch perfect for it and is an amazing song, and I still can't fucking find anywhere. Yeah, they've taken that out for some, I don't want to say some bullshit generic crap, but it's nowhere near as good. It's good. It's good in and of itself, but compared to Oh Death, it's just no, thank you. Reject. So, I mean, if I were to recommend getting this,
holy cow,
I would probably recommend getting the remake over the original. I know it's a lot more expensive. And I understand the original. I never played the original on like a Pro or on a 5. And I understand that gave it some frame rate enhancements, which were sorely needed, because that thing struggled to hit 30 on a box standard PlayStation 4, and definitely didn't at some points, I'll tell you. So, you know, having the high frame rates, the better graphics, the extra ending, be able to save the one character, and having the DLC that I would never have been able to get because I didn't pre-order it originally, and all that stuff, it makes it a more attractive package for me. And obviously, you know, I almost asked for this, really, because I wanted that higher frame rate. So, you know, if I actually get what I want, I should probably fucking put my money where my mouth is, you know. There are, you know, the price is high. I mean, I think it was like 60 quid for a remake of a 10-year-old game that's not massively different. It is a tough sell. I mean, even for me, I didn't get it when it came out because exactly of that. If it was maybe priced at maybe 30 quid, I could like get behind it a lot more. But it is an intimidating price. So if you think that's too much when you haven't played it, get the PS4. Or, you know, it's still a good game. It still looks good. The frame rate's a bit meh, but as I understand, you can, if you've got a 5 or a Pro, then you can play it increased frame rates, which would benefit the game definitely. There's a little bit more in the opening as well, so you get to know more about like the prank that happens and the relationship between some of the characters. So it's appreciated. because it is
This is your way of trying to make me
it is a game I really enjoyed back when I originally played it, and you know, I've gotten back and played it a couple of times since then. The most recent time I stopped playing it because I was just appalled at the fucking frame rate. I was like, oh my god, I can't handle this anymore. I'm used to 60 now, you bastards. But I do understand that on the consoles it runs at 30, the remake. So I don't know what to say about that. That's only what I hear. I don't have the console version. I'm of course playing it on PC because why wouldn't you, eh? Why wouldn't you? But, you know, so that's a thing to bear in mind as well. If it's 30, it becomes a whole lot less easy to recommend. I mean, it's already expensive, but if the main improvement of that 30 frame limit is not there, then, yeah, that's a toughie. I don't think if that was the only way I could play it, I would buy it, to be fair. Because the frame rate is really the big thing that I wanted a remake of this game for, and from what I'm hearing, it's not even a stable 30 on like console. So if you can't get it on PC, get the old one, unless you know, you hear that they've patched it and it works all fine at 60 now or whatever. But anyway, that's all for me this week. Take it easy. I hope you guys didn't suffer too bad a headache on New Year's. I was sat awake till 2 because I would have gone to bed like prior to midnight, but because I don't really care about New Year, to be perfectly honest with you. But like the fireworks going off at 12, I was just like, fuck it. I watched some YouTube and assemble a dreadnought, so that's what I did. I just don't like New Year's because I'm a dog owner, and like seeing my dog squished in a corner with terror in his eyes is not something I enjoy. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, guys, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.